MZTV.
I don't think there's ever been a more perfect amalgamation of church and state. As part of a popular movement, that is. That people are agreeing with, that people are for, that people like, a majority of the people. But then what I saw yesterday at the Charlie Kirk memorial service in a football stadium that was packed to the rafters in Glendale, Arizona. Now, I did not watch the whole thing because I'm sickened by the religiosity, as you know. I can't watch religious people talk. It just makes me ill. But I did see some of it. And I mentioned in the description on the video yesterday how I was impressed that Charlie Kirk's widow forgave the shooter in front of everyone. I was moved to tears when I heard that. And I subsequently have been mocked for thinking that it was real. Well, if I had seen that in a movie, if I watched a movie about a popular young man being murdered and his young widow now having to care for two of her children, if I'd seen a movie script being acted out by professional actors and actresses, I still would have cried at the moment when the widow stands up at the memorial service and forgives the killer of her husband. As no doubt Charlie would have done. I have no doubt in my mind whatsoever that as if Charlie could have seen the bullet approaching him before it killed him, he would have forgiven the shooter. Isn't that what Christ tells us to do, to love our enemies? Can we do it? Only by the indwelling of the Holy Spirit. It's humanly impossible. To bless your enemies, love those who are persecuting you. This is what Paul tells us to do in Romans chapter 12. Though it's not out of reach to do. I've written a whole chapter about loving my enemies in my book, How to Love Anyone, that is coming out soon. Stay tuned. It's the highest form of love to love your enemies and bless those who are persecuting you. And I have actually done it. I can't do it all the time. I will say it's easier to love someone than forgive someone. But I was mocked by a really cynical person who doesn't really, well, I'll leave it at that, how could you believe something so stupid? Obviously, it was fake. She really didn't believe it. The whole thing was staged, blah, 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 blah. Everything's staged, according to this person. Nothing's genuine, sincere. At least not in the political world. And I thought to myself, even before I was criticized for this, I don't care, criticize away. I feel the same way. It was moving. Whether it was real or not. Like I said, if it was in a movie, I would still cry. Martin, it's a movie. I don't care. It's moving when somebody forgives their enemies, even if they don't mean it. Will the person who criticized me admit that there's such a thing as fake it until you make it? Anybody who watched that, and I didn't watch all of it because I get sickened by religiosity, but we're looking at a woman who is grieving for Christ's sake, for her husband, grieving for her husband. And she had to work it up. It didn't flow naturally out of her. She didn't do it with a smile. It was like she struggled to say the words, I forgive. Just that, just the struggle. I respect the hell out of it. And even if it was fake, I respect the hell out of it. Even if she didn't mean it, I respect the hell out of it. Because I think she wanted to mean it. And I think she's fake. I don't think she means it. I think she's faking it until she makes it. And it just ticked me off that the person critiquing me had no idea my undercurrent beliefs about it. I just said I was moved when I heard it. Oh, how can you be so stupid and naive? Oh, how can you be so stupid and naive? If people are hurting. And the message today is about these hurting people, the people I talked about yesterday, who are sheep without a shepherd. And I'm going to tell you who I'm really pissed off at today, not the person who criticized me. I can forgive that person. I am both astounded and amazed at Satan and the depth of the deception. But let me go back to this event. There could be no more perfect amalgamation of church and state. This is exactly what we've been waiting for as the final act of the end of the eon. The melding of religion and politics. I don't know what else anyone could possibly be looking for or waiting for. And these people are trying, and I think the majority of them are. They're sincere as hell. They're trying. Erica Kirk was trying to forgive this guy, and she said the words, and I give her freaking credit for that and a lot of it. I don't think it was genuine. I hope it was. I don't even think she thinks it was genuine, but goddamn the guts to say it and to fake it until you make it. I admired the hell out of that. And it brought me to tears. I don't care if it was fake. It brought me to tears. Just saying it, just hearing the words, I forgive him, in light of what just happened. Amazing, fantastic, phenomenal, stupendous. This life sucks. It was a great moment. I'm sorry. I'm not completely stupid. Person who criticized me. But I'm not completely cynical either. And now this is me criticizing you. There's some shit I still believe in. But this event, this is what we've all been waiting for. It was absolutely phenomenal. But here's the wonderment of it. And this is it right here. Religion and politics have come together before, but it was always an oppressive situation. It was forced on people. People didn't line up for it. People didn't sign up for it. I'm talking about totalitarian governments who imposed the state religion on the people, and the people were forced to obey the state religion. And whether the state religion had anything to do with the true God, obviously it would not. But maybe it had something to do with a false deity. I don't know. I'm no student on totalitarian government history. All I know is that this thing that happened on Sunday was the perfect amalgamation of church and state. We had, basically, it was supposed to be a funeral service. It ended up being a revival. The president was there, the vice president, many cabinet secretaries, some of the most powerful people in the world were talking about their faith, were openly talking about Jesus. I mean, that's incredible. And I know the left and the atheists, they get so nervous about that, but they're in the minority, really. The people who hate God, either the fake God or the true God, they don't care. They hate any God. They're in the minority. This is a harvest time, all right, but it's a harvest time for Satan, who is disguised as a messenger of light and his dispensers as ministers of righteousness. And who is being harvested here? People who are hurting, people who are confused, people who are grieving, people who are mourning, people who saw a young man shot in front of them with the blood gushing out of his neck, a man who did good. A man who believed every insane, satanic teaching to come down the pike. Yes, I know that. Of course, I know that. That's why I didn't just wholesale sit there and watch this whole event yesterday. But I watched highlights and I watched clips and I saw that and I was moved to tears. Trump was freaking funny as Trump was touching. The speech was moving. And I don't know how it can go from something so heart-wrenching to something so humorous when Trump says, I'm paraphrasing him, that was an amazing speech by Erica and how she could forgive this shooter. He said, I can't forgive my enemies. I hate my enemies. I can't help it. That man is so honest, it's beyond the pale. I hate my enemies. I'll just be honest. I can't stand them. I want bad things to happen to them. I had to laugh myself, and I think there's people in the audience had to laugh. It was so great. It was so Trump. And he said, I'm sorry, Eric's not going to like that. He said, Erica's not going to like that. And I'm sure Charlie's disappointed at me looking down from his heavenly perch. And every single person there believes that Charlie is in heaven. None of them know the truth. None of them know any vital truth concerning the true God, the true Christ, true spirituality. And don't anybody think for a second that I think, oh, this is a legitimate revival. It's not. My God, it's not. It's a Christian revival. And did you see the miracle of what happened yesterday? I don't want this to escape anyone. The miracle of what was happening yesterday. We are witnessing the final days of Millennium 6. This government is taking the name of Christ, and I told you for many, many years, I've told you for over 25 years that the Christian right would take the reins of government ultimately. I've been saying this since 1995. And I said it on the air on Grace Cafe in Cleveland, Ohio in 1999, that the religious right would take political power, would become more and more involved in politics. But it would have a military behind it. And now we find out not only does it have the greatest military in the world behind it to force its will upon other nations, but it has technology behind it. And there was Trump and Elon Musk shaking hands and all lovey-dovey yesterday. Did you see that? Did you see that? Trump and Elon, after their big fight, joining hands again. I realize that AI, the technology advancements are in place to catalog every single human being. And here comes old naive Zender again. I think that most of the people that are doing this are doing it for good. At least they think they're doing it for good. They're trying to do it for good. I don't think they have malevolent intentions. Maybe there's people behind these people that do. But the people like Trump, and some of you may disagree with me. I know people do. I don't care. Go ahead. This is my show. It's a beautiful thing. It's my show. Nobody can interrupt me. I love it. I have said for at least 25 years that the right was not evil enough to build the beast system. But they would take over the beast system, and everyone would feel at peace, like, okay, now the good guys have their hands on the levers. Now they will protect us. And this is what they're saying. Don't worry, we won't let this get out of hand. We will protect you from the malevolent aspects of artificial intelligence. We will be your protectors. And of course, we know, and they may have good intentions. They may actually believe that, but we know that that's not going to happen. And it is not until not Satan, but it is not until the spiritual being known as the wild beast inhabits the man of lawlessness. I don't think it's going to be Satan. It's going to be a malevolent spiritual being, obviously called the wild beast. And we know that whoever the man of lawlessness is will not become the man of lawlessness until the fatal blow occurs and people think that that man of lawlessness is dead, and then the man of lawlessness comes back. And at that point, it's no longer the person that was killed. It will be at that time that the evil spiritual being will inhabit the body of the recently deceased. And if it is Trump, it won't be Trump anymore. Again, it'll look like Trump. The hair will be just like Trump's, but it won't be Trump. It's not until then that the true malevolence shows. But until then, we got a bunch of, the majority of which, just naive people that have been handed these tools that they are going to try to use, convince themselves for the betterment of humanity. And the thing is that in most cases, it is for the betterment of humanity. I mean, even I, who hate Christianity, hates the religion so much because of the doctrines of demons behind it, even I say that it's better to have people who are dedicated to being good to each other than people who are dedicated to killing each other. Aren't you? Isn't it better to have hundreds of thousands or millions of college students leaning toward the right? Leaning toward free market, freedom of speech? Isn't it better that they lean that way than become a bunch of Marxists and start a reign of terror? Isn't it? But can we all just admit that that's better? And yet, it's the seed plot for the greatest deception in the world. But is it the greatest deception in the world now? In a way, Christianity is, but I'm talking about the new alignment of politics and religion. I don't think it is the horrible thing it's going to be now. But the seed plot is here. The vehicle has arrived and is pulled into the garage. No, I should say it's pulled out of the garage and it's ready to go. The vehicle's here. It just needs tweaked. And the shocking thing is that the billions of people who will be ruled by it want it. They want it. It will be seen, again, I've said this for years, I keep saying that, sorry. It will be seen to be the most righteous thing, the best thing to come to earth in a long time, that even the elect would be deceived if it were possible. That's always my litmus test. That even the elect would be deceived. So slick will the end time deception be that even the elect would be deceived if it were possible. In other words, we would have to say, dang, this is great. This is great. How long have I been predicting $1 for a gallon of gas? That's still my prediction. Wait for it. That's another thing I've been predicting for 25 years. All because of concordant studies in the book of Daniel by A. Enoch, when I realized that the 4 beasts of Daniel chapter 7 were religions instead of countries, changed everything for me. Oh my God, that was it. And everything fell into place. I saw how the Western beast had to have a religious backbone, had to have a religious brain, had to have religious identity and religious protocol. And the Western religion, as these beasts go, they go from east to west. Just put my name in a YouTube search and the 4 beasts of Daniel chapter 7. You'll find a lot of information. I've made shows on this many times at conferences and here from the studio, and you will see that these beasts, as they're described by Daniel, go from east to west. The westernmost beast, that is the most military, the most the iron teeth and the copper claws, armed to the teeth. This is the United States. But the beasts are religions. But the religions will take political power. Folks, if you don't think that was it yesterday, I don't know. And I will end this way by saying that I still feel compassion for these people because this is inevitable. It's freaking inevitable. I don't blame anybody for going for this because Satan is just an ingenious craftsman. The systematizing of the deception. Ephesians 4:14, that we may by no means still be minors, surging hither and thither, being carried about by every wind of teaching, by human caprice, by craftiness, with a view to the systematizing of the deception. Excuse me. Satan is a genius in having systematized the deception. The deception is beautiful because Satan is an angel of light. The deception is something that everyone would want to join, that a parent would be happy that their children signed up for it because it is Christian. They don't see the demons behind the Christian religion that are turning the world from the true God. But these people that are being drawn into it, they are coming out of the most evil eon there's ever been. And this is the end of the third eon. And the evil is just so malignant and so metastasized that when something like this comes up as an alternative to it, well, I can be a better person. I can latch onto a religion of peace, not a religion of war. I can make my life better. I can apply myself. I can have a good job. I can support my family. Is there anything wrong with any of these things? No, these things are beautiful. But that is the genius of Satan. I don't blame anybody for going for it. Not at all. It is so attractive. Satan has done a masterful job of making the deception so systematized, so acceptable, that even the elect would be deceived. That tells me that it's so important. That line, that verse, that truth is so important. Because it tells us that it's so good that we have to like focus and say, wait a minute. This is all deception. But there's part of it that I like. We say to ourselves, there's part of this is good. Crimes being driven out of cities. People can walk safely in the streets. Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want criminals to be punished and good people to be commended? Who doesn't want advancement in this world based on merit, not skin color? Who doesn't want that? And it's happening. Good things are happening, and they're going to continue to happen. And we ourselves have to go, wait a minute. See? You see? And so if we ourselves would be tempted to think, this is really good, then what are we to say about these sheep without the shepherd who are just being drawn to this? Of course they're being drawn to this. They're not stupid. They're not idiots. They're humans. They're human beings in pain. Erica Kirk is a human being in pain who is trying her best to do the right thing. And sometimes you have to fake it until you make it. And maybe you never will make it. But thank God for at least having the decency to try to fake it and to say the words. Even though your heart might not be 100% behind it yet, to say the words, I admire the hell out of that. God bless that woman. I pray for that woman. And I pray for all of those who are succumbing to this. It's not their fault. It is that our adversary is so deceptive, so powerful, so intelligent, so resourceful, with all of the world's assets at his disposal. What else are these people supposed to do? And this should make us even more astounded and thankful that we have been chosen out of the many. We have been chosen out of the common deception. We are the oddballs. We are the strange ones. We are the anomalies. We are the, as Hebrews says, those who wander about, not literally in goat skins, but we wander about as those with no country, as expatriates in a land that is not our own. And we can't be happy with the misery, and we can't even be happy with the happiness. We're freaking miserable. We have no home. We have no home with the evil, and we can't even jump on the ship of good, the ship of good hope, the ship of goodwill, the ship of I forgive the shooter. We can't even jump on that. God, we're freaking aliens. And unless we're rescued soon, I don't know. We're going to go down with one ship or the other.